Alright, so in this lesson we're going to be talking about, we're going to talk about reflecting points. And I want you to think about reflecting points as looking at yourself in the mirror, looking at your reflection, okay? The other thing you need to really distinguish in this lesson is the difference between the x-axis, the x-axis and the y-axis. Because if you get those mixed up, you'll get the problem wrong just about every single time. But if you understand the difference between those two, then you'll be in good shape. Okay, so first let's talk about reflecting over the x-axis. Okay, so remember I said think about reflecting points like looking into a mirror. So here you have a coordinate plane, and I've sort of highlighted for you where the x-axis is. And in this case, I'm kind of calling it the x-axis mirror. Okay. And then here you have a cute little kitty, and here is the kitty's x-axis as well. Now, if you look at the kitty is up here, here's the x-axis, and his image is being reflected over the x-axis. And that's what we're going to do, except we are not going to be reflecting cats and little kitties and kittens, although I wish we were because they're really cute, but we're going to be reflecting points over the x-axis and over the y-axis, okay? So let's first work with the x-axis since that's what we just talked about, okay? So what I like to do is I like to take a highlighter or a marker of some sort and actually highlight the x-axis, because it's telling me to reflect over the x-axis. So I've highlighted my axis. It tells me what my point is. It says reflect 3, 1 over the x-axis, and it's even shown me where 3, 1 is. Now, all I have to do is 2 steps. Step 1 is get point 3, 1 to the x-axis. And how many units is that? So, bam, it's 1 unit. Now I'm going to repeat that process. I'm going to mirror image it. I'm going to reflect it over that axis. So it took me 1 unit to get there, so I'm going to go 1 unit on the other side. And where I land is my new point. Now the answer to your problem is, what is that new point? And that new point is 3, negative 1. And so your answer is 3, negative 1. Okay? Now, this problem would look very different if it said to reflect over the y-axis, which we're going to look at in just a second. So, reflecting over the y-axis. So again, think of reflecting as looking in a mirror. Here you have another little kitty. He's a little bit less cute this time and a little bit more funny, but compare him to the coordinate plane that we have here, okay? So here we have the coordinate plane. I've highlighted for you where the y-axis is, or what I'm calling the y-axis mirror this time, okay? So on this kitty, I have my y-axis right here. This kitty is being reflected over the y-axis, and I'm getting an exact mirror image of what is happening on the other side. And that's what we do when we reflect. We're getting the mirror image, except again, we're not using kitties and dogs and bears and giraffes. We're going to go ahead and use just one single point. Okay? So this time, we're going to reflect the point 2, 4 over the y-axis. Okay, and again, once I've identified what axis I need to do, I like to go ahead and highlight that axis as a visual for myself. So I've highlighted the axis. Now step 1, get this point to the axis. So how many units is it? 1, 2 units. Now reflect it. 1, 2. I made a mirror image. Put your point. What is that new coordinate? Well, that's negative 2 up 4. So negative 2, 4. And that's your answer. Okay? So Let's do some practice problems here and pay attention to what axis they're asking you to reflect over. So reflect -3, -5 over the y-axis. It's telling me y. I'm going to highlight the y, okay? So my original point is -3, -5. Now it didn't give it to me this time on the coordinate plane, so I need to go find it. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here it is right here. Now, the reason why it helps that I've highlighted my axis is I don't have to think in my head, am I going up to the X or over to the Y? It's highlighted. It's a visual for me. So now, how many steps to get to that line? 1, 2, 3. Now make a reflection. 1, 2, 3. Put my point there. What's my new point? Well, +3, -5. You can also figure that out quite quickly by knowing that you're in quadrant 4 and knowing that in quadrant 4, your x is positive, your y is negative. Let's look at the next one. So in this next one here, it says reflect 0, 2 over the x-axis. So x, I'm going to highlight the x-axis here. So my point was 0, 2. I'm going to plot that. So 0 means stay, and then I go up 2. Now, I need to get to that axis that I just colored in. How far away is it? 1, 2. Make a mirror image. 1, 2. Plot your point. What's my new point? 0, -2. And it's as easy as that. All right, next one. So this time, reflect -1, 5 over the y-axis. So I'm going to highlight my y-axis. And the point is -1, +5. So I'm going to plot that. -1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm going to the y, right next door, to the YMCA. I'm going to the y-axis, so I only need to go over 1, but I need to make my reflection. 1, right here. What's my new point? Well, I'm in quadrant 1. What do I know about quadrant 1? All my numbers are positive. So, +1, +5. The cool thing about reflections, if you notice, look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. Nothing changed about the numbers, just the signs changed. Okay, let's do another example here. Let me get my highlighter. Reflect 5, 0 over the x-axis. So I'm going to highlight my x. So 5, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and stay. Now, 5, 0, I need to reflect that over the x-axis. Well, how many units will it take me to get to the x-axis? None, because I'm already on that axis. If I move 1 unit this way, I'm away from it. If I move 1 unit that way, I'm away from it. So, this is a trick question. I'm already on that axis. If I reflected, my answer is simply the same. The mistake that people make is they think that I need to go to the other side over here. That's incorrect. If you did that, you would be reflecting over the y-axis, okay? So you stay exactly where you are. All right, that is the end of the reflecting lesson. We will do some more practice in class, but it really does not get much harder than that.